I'm not one of those guys that I don't have to tiptoe around none of my guys. I don't have to walk on eggshells. I don't have to, it's nothing for us to talk about 24 hours a day. That's not realistic. So you see these guys on the headphones, it's like, bro, I'm doing 1,000 different things a day. And I know that's, so like, we don't have to fake. That's acting.
The look.
You get what I'm saying? If there's something, call me. I'll call you. Whatever the case may be, dinner, whatever it is, we manage it in the proper fashion. But it's just a bond. It really is. And if I tell you something, like my guy's like, bro, if you tell me something, I know you've done your diligence on it. Just that simple. So I educate them, and I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just educating them on what our options are. And here's what I advise you to do and why. But ultimately, you have to make the decision, right? And in DeJounte's case, just this year, he had extension eligible. We could have played it all the way out or take the extension, etc. He has a different perspective on life and his positioning, so we did an extension. Don't matter to me, right? But I just like to have the options, right? And so that's what we had. But DeJounte's great, man, and just all my guys, man. We've been blessed as a company. I've been blessed as an agent to represent some great guys, and I'm gonna be there with you up and be there with you down, right? In Miles's case, same thing. Guys like Tyrese and Darius Garland, same thing. Just some of the younger guys, the older guys you expected, right? AD, KCPs, the LeBrons, the Draymonds, Fred VanVleet, those guys are like, but the younger guys trying to mold them, happy for a guy like Trey Lyles.
I like Trey. He trains
a guy like
us.
Trey Lyles, it's just sometimes in the NBA, it's just about finding, you have to stay in there to find the fit. You don't always get drafted to the fit, but you have to do the things necessary to stay professional, to stay in the toe,
to find the fit,
right? We've seen many guys going to lot. That's why I don't get so caught up on the top 5 or top 10. That don't mean anything.
Some of them don't last.
No,
longevity,
no, not at all.
Obviously, we're coming to the back end of Bron, Steph, KD.
Yeah.
Who were some people you see this next run of this youth that can potentially, it's a lot of work, but to be there somewhat as faces?
Talent-wise, there's a lot of talented players, right? There's a lot of talent.
It takes more than that, though.
This is the most talent I think we've had in our league in a long time.
Close.
But
it's here.
But there's an aspect of understanding what it is to be a great partner. And when you are trying to position yourself to be one of the faces, because I don't think there'll be one face.
Yeah.
I think those days are over. But to be one of the faces of the league, there's a partnership that comes with that you have to understand. There's a reputation you have to uphold. There's a professionalism you have to uphold. There's a giving of your time that you have to carve out to do certain things to continue to move the game forward, right? And so I think
your production.
Yeah, and your production every night. Nobody don't care. So you had 30. Okay, great. You had 35. Okay, great. You had 40. Great. That's expected of you, right? We expect that of you. And I think that today, a lot of guys come in our league and they're talented, but they don't know how to play the game. Right? And then in addition to that, they also don't know how to play the game within the game. You being the best player on the team means you be the first one at the gym. Not mean you be the last one to walk in.
Right.
Be late to the plane. All those things are no-go. When you're the best guy on the team, no. It works it works the other way.
Yeah.
You have to actually do more because the coach actually should be able to sit in the film room and talk through you.
Yep.
And you be okay with that. That's part of your responsibility as the face of the team. Because what's the sense of him talking to the ninth man on the bench?
Yep.
That ain't gonna do nothing for the team. But if I can talk through you as the number one guy, then it's gonna already reprimand the room. Like I don't even have to say nothing at that point, right? So I think that's important. But it's a ton of it's definitely a ton of talent. I think NIL is kind of hurting the growth of the athlete in several aspects. I think it's good for our women's game for sure, because we haven't gotten that part right to where they can make some substantial money. I think in football, it's just become the wild, wild west. And don't get me wrong, these stadiums are 110,000, 105,000, 90,000 every Saturday, right? These guys should get something. There's no question about it. So I'm not, but there used to be an aspect of resilience. So it's removing the resilience, and there's a trade-off. There's options for the lack thereof having to overcome something. I don't think there's a quick fix to either one. We need to find some type of balance because you need both. I want these guys to have an option because, it's unfair to go in a kid's living room and say something and not mean it, right? And in basketball, we see this happen a lot. Guys go and commit to a school and they've told all the right things. And then when they get there, they're a top 5 player coming in. And by the time it's done, not because of something that they're doing, because these are kids, by the way.
Yeah.
They have a lot of growing to do. There's nurturing that has to be done in the college game. There's a continuous effort to want to educate them on how to play the game, and you want to give that. So you have to find a balance of, well, am I going to care about my wins, or am I care about the win within?
Raising men.
Right. There's a balance, right? And if we happen to, which one are you going to commit to? Because if you're going to commit to your wins, and that's going to let me know your coaching style right away. And it may not be the best place for me. But if you tell me this prior, that's one thing. But if you tell me, hey, you come here, I'm going to make sure this, I'm going to make sure that. And then when you got me there, that switches up. That's tough for me. And then don't say to me, oh, well, I'm helping you get better. Because there's several ways to help somebody get better. You're picking the worst way to help me get better without even knowing how I learn. That's equivalent to my son being in school and, the teacher teaching everybody the same way. Well, we all learn differently. So that's not, I don't really go for that. And so I think all that matters. The other thing is these kids are playing way too much basketball. Way too much basketball. You don't need it. We don't need 15 tournaments. Like, you don't need it. I can tell a guy who has pro potential in 2 minutes. Like, we don't need that.
So watered down.
But there's playing so many games, and it's just, it's why a lot of injuries are happening a lot earlier too.
Wear and tear on that body.
Because you don't need. If I'm a top player, I'm not playing every tournament that you got on my schedule for what. It's not going to help. Some of these guys are been playing for the last 3 years. They've been the same person for the last 3 years. It's not changing. Work on your development. Work on your development. Not that.
Yep.
Too many games. I don't care what nobody say.
I told that to my son.
I'm in the that's why I coach my kids. They're not playing on 2 or 3 different teams. We're not taking all these, like to me it's a step process to get there. And even if you're lucky enough to be, help having a father that's in it, there's still no guarantee. But I definitely know the process it's going to take. Not playing all these games is not the step. Yeah, it's going to be beneficial.